when I was in America, everyone told me like it would be really easy to get big clothes and big shoes and that because they're all huge and all freaks over there.
All right, steady on.
And I was wandering around New York and I was going in a few shops, kind of saying, we've got size 14, US 15 shoes, and they were going, no, we want
Is that the difference?
Yeah.
One.
And they literally were laughing at me. There was a couple of shops where they literally laugh and get like someone else in and come and look at the tall, freaky Englishman.
Really?
And then one guy said, I remember we had someone come in here once, and he said he'd been to a shop which sold kind of stuff for really tall people, and he said, I think I can remember the address, and he sort of looked through the sort of telephone directory, and he made a note of it. And I went on the subway, and I went down all
Lilliput.
And I went, it took me ages to get in, and really hard to find it. I finally went in there. I've never seen it. It was heaving, right, with freaks. It was amazing. It was like, they were just kind of gargoyles. It was like something from Lord of the Rings. They were just kind of these tall people and kind of gnarled.
Did they turn around and start bowing to you?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
When I went in, I just said, hi, I'm looking for a kind of sort of. The guy went, yeah, sure. And he sort of hobbled off into the darkness and came back with exactly the kind of pair of shoes I wanted. I couldn't believe my luck.
It might be a magic shop.
But it was like that shop in Mr. Ben.
It might have been a dream though, you see. Have you still actually got the shoes?
No.
Because when Mr. Ben sort of like goes back and wakes up next day, he finds like a feather in his pocket where he remembers he was a 17th century sort of squire or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The classic episode of Mr. Ben when he becomes a 17th century squire.
Oh dear.
Mr. Ben learns to play the harpsichord.
But it's like when Mr. Ben, that black shopkeeper goes, right, are you going to pay for that? You're not just going to go through that door and then have an adventure and come back. Oh, yeah, I am. No, you're not. You're barred.
Yeah.
You just make me sick. We wait nothing from you. Well, I'm not in this for your amusement, Mr. Ben.
Is it only Ben who's got the insider knowledge about the magical doorway, or?
I don't know, because that fella in the fez doesn't seem to have anyone else there.
No, rarely. He's always grinning though. He knows something.
I'm not sure. It's not a documentary though, is it? It's a kid show, isn't it?
I'm trying to remember.
No, it's not. It's just a kid show, so anything can happen.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people make that mistake when they slag off something like Scooby-Doo or Thundercats. It's not really reality. It's just a kid.
Mr. Ben, they were all on drugs, weren't they? Like Magic Roundabout.
My mate fancied Cheetara from Thundercats.
Cheetara. Which one was Cheetara? I quite like She-Woman.
She was a lovely cat.
Yeah, she was a real dish.
What's the sexiest cartoon?
I'm glad you've asked.
A lot of people say Jessica Rabbit.
They do, and they'd be right to say that, because she's actually human, she's not an animal, which is good.
What?
Isn't she? No, she's a normal woman married to a rabbit.
No, she's not.
Jessica Rabbit.
Is that what she got a surname, Rabbit? But she's not actually
she's
a rabbit.
married Roger Rabbit. But she's not actually a rabbit, she's a glamorous woman.
Is she?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
No, yeah, this is the weird thing about it.
That's weird though, isn't it?
It is weird, the idea of a rabbit having sex with a beautiful woman. That is the weirdest thing about it.
How does that make you feel?
Annoyed, if I'm honest. Yeah. But I bought some bunny ears just after I saw the film.
Oh, hip-hop. You got your hip-hop track?
Yeah, good. No, this album was rated by a lot of people last year. My sources tell me that it's being re-released and re-recorded this year. Anyway, Nerd are the outfit. They're better known as the Neptunes, who are kind of sort of hip-hop R&B producers. I think this track may have featured on a giveaway CD.
It did!
The NME.
It did!
Anyway, it's dynamite. It's from the album In Search Of by Nerd, and it's Bobby James. Play it. Nerd from the album In Search Of, and that's Bobby James.
It's brilliant.
It's great.
It's really big. It reminds me a little bit of Warren G. That chorus.
Sure. Yeah. And apparently the album, it was on kind of limited release, so it's quite tricky to get hold of, but as I say, I think they're re-releasing it.
Well, you should tape off the radio, because we're doing lots of features.
Yeah, no, I'll maybe play that again in the future, just tape it off. I'll tell you what, I'll play the whole album over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and we're just I mean, we've got enough of us talking, we just go now, and you can press play and record.
We can't advocate you tape off the radio, because that's breaking...
No, or maybe I'll just do some bootlegs of the, the catalogue and just sell them Camden Market for £4.
Exactly, fine.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we won't, I mean, we shouldn't really say that, but...
Warren G is, Dr. Dre's cousin, is he, or something? Warren
G, I think, is his cousin, yeah.
But I know he's got a famous brother as well, and I think it's something like Nate Dogg.
It could well be Nate Dogg.
Maybe someone would know that and could email or phone in.
Yeah, or email maybe kind of family.
This is the best thing about being on the radio. I can think of something. There was a competition, right, on Virgin, right? I was listening, Virgin, I think 105. No, what is it? I can't remember.
Yeah. Good station.
Good station. And they had a competition, right, and it was to win a trip to America on the Enterprise. It was all about space. And there was one question, answer 3 right, and it was who was the first one into space, Yuri Gagarin, who was doing that. And then the third question was, how much bigger than the moon is the sun? Is it twice as big or 4 times as big? And this one went 4 times as big, went correct. It's not. It's hundreds of times bigger.
More big.
I can't believe, can someone look that up on the internet and how many times bigger is the sun than the moon? It's not 4 times. It's huge. It's like beach ball to a pea type dimensions.
Which DJ was it, do you remember, on Virgin?
I Can't remember, but it was the one on sort of about 11 o'clock.
I
Wouldn't want to be
about
about. Yeah, he's embarrassed himself,
He's
hasn't
embarrassed
he?
himself.
When we do
Everyone's-
quizzes, we never get anything wrong.
That's true enough.
During that track, I'm chilling out, I'm loving it, aren't I? Carl goes, do you know how baguettes came about?
Do you know how baguettes come about?
I went, go on, and Steve went, no, save it.
Wait a minute though, I'm thinking, Rick, people are going to be desperate to know the answer to that. Why don't we play some ads and some music and stuff?
It's like a cliffhanger.
Exactly. How did baguettes come about?
Whatever he says is going to be good, isn't
Stay
it?
tuned to XFM to find out.
Hives, hate to say I told you so, so I love that sort of stuff.
Mm.
That and the Strokes. Well, it's so much better than this new metal rubbish, isn't it?
Definitely.
Now, most people think we talk rubbish on air.
Yep.
If they could hear the conversations
Off
that
air.
go on, I know, but someone just emailed in saying the sun is indeed about 400 times bigger than the moon. Thanks for that. That DJ must have looked it up and said 400 times. That can't be right. It's probably a printing error. 4 times.
Yeah.
Nothing can be 400 times bigger than the moon. Carl went, yeah, but the sun, it's only got 1 million years, isn't it? I went, what? He went, on that space program, it said that in 1 million years the sun will be destroyed, and he said, and then we're all shafted. Right? I laughed. Steve went, no, it's okay. By then, we'll be on another planet.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
true. We'll have colonised
Right?
other planets.
Carl went, yeah, but there'll be no sun. Steve went, well, there's other suns, which is true. Carl went, well, I went, well, yeah, every star is a sun. Carl went, well, not really. Not really. Don't believe that, do you? And I went, no, it is. The sun is just a star. It's not even a particularly big star. Carl went, well, why didn't they say that instead of worrying me? Instead of worrying me.
In 1 million years' time.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Carl. He's been preserved, brought back to life, and is now the ruler of the world.
Just a head in
Yeah.
a fish tank. And he speaks like this. I am Pilkington.
the reason you became king of the universe, of course, is because of your fascinating French bread anecdote.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What
Come
was
on
the
then.
story?
What? How did baguettes come about? If this is going to be someone cooked a loaf a bit wrong and said, "I can still make a sandwich out of it," I'm going to hit you.
No.
Go on then.
Right. Napoleon, when he was at war and that with Russia,
1812. Yeah.
yeah, all his soldiers were like, you know, not used to the cold weather and that. So they said, take some clothes in your bag with you because it's going to be
Chilly.
nippy
Yeah.
out there. So they put all the clothes in the bag.
Sure.
Do what they were told.
Oh.
It's Napoleon, for Christ's sake.
No room for any food.
No,
You're joking.
So
Couldn't they make some sort of like sandwich?
no, it wouldn't fit because of all the clothes. You had to take extra gear.
Sure.
for them. So anyway, he
I
said,
can see where
know.
this is going. I'll be honest.
Is there a baguette-shaped gap left in their holdall?
They thought, let's make some bread that you can fit down your trouser leg.
What?
That's not true. No, it's not.
I read it in Euston train station. I was waiting to go back to Manchester.
Where did you read
What,
these? It was-
scrawled on the wall in graffiti?
Yeah.
Do you know the
Was
upper-
it also meet me here for cock fun at 12 o'clock?
The upper cross sandwich shop, Euston station. It's on the wall.
What do you mean it's on the wall?
Do you know how it says like sail on at Dixon's, whatever?
Yeah.
Next to that, there was like a bit of information. Once you've read the stuff on
Baguette
Dixon's,
information.
there was a big thing about the history of the baguette. I read it and I thought,
No, we got to make a sandwich we can spit down our trouser leg.
But how can you march and fight with a huge piece of bread down your train?
Although it would be intimidating. You see them coming, you go, sacre bleu, look at the size of them. They're big fellas. Well,
Blimey. I can't help but feel that could be a practical joke at your expense.
I
yeah.
didn't do that.
Well, the Earl of
Do you ever
Sandwich...
question anything you read? If it's
No.
printed up, is that,
Yeah.
like, fact for you then?
Well, it's not funny. I mean, if they were trying to be funny, it's like, it's not, is it? So it's information.
Have you heard us? Things sometimes want to be funny when they're not.
That's exactly what happened with the sandwich. The Earl of Sandwich wanted something he could fit down his pants. And it was those triangle cut sandwiches wrapped in cling film were perfect. You might be right. You might be right.
I am.
Because the Cornish pasty, so they could drop it down the mines, isn't it?
Is
They,
it?
yeah, they wrapped it up they wrapped up like meat and vegetables in pastry, and they sort of crimped it, and it was like a little, and they dropped it down the mine, so, yeah, that's how that came about.
And bagels were originally made so that people could play hoopla, but then eat afterwards. I don't know if you're aware of that. That is true, Carl.
Well,
Is
anyway,
that call my bluff? Is one of them true?
yeah.
They're all
well,
true.
They're all true.
Yeah.
Tell your
Well,
kids that when you have them.
Yeah.
You know, if they're still alive in 1 million years.
Well, it might be true. Can someone confirm, that baguette fact, that it was so Napoleon could stick it down
Not him.
his trousers? Not him, his soldiers.
His men.
Yeah.
Fascinating information. Fascinating bread information, Carl.
Radiohead.
Yeah, now this is my song for the lovers. It's a beautiful track. It's Let Down, off OK Computer. It's one of my favourite Radiohead tracks. It's lovely. Right, set the tape going now, if you want to tape these songs. Move on.
Migrant workers in South China are wearing adult diapers on packed trains heading home for the New Year holiday because they've got no access to the toilet. Many supermarkets in this particular part of China have reported a 50% increase in sales of adult nappies for the train trips. Now, what do you make of that, Carl? You're on a long, long train journey, 3 hours, 4 hours.
You know there's no toilet. You know you're going to need to go. Pop on a...
Why isn't there any toilets?
They just aren't on the trains.
And they're a really long journey.
Yeah.
How long?
Hours.
Well, very long in China. It's a big country.
I wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd have to hold it in or something. Just like, I mean, when I was a young kid, I don't know how young you are when you wear a nappy and that, but I remember that I didn't like it doing it in a pair of pants like that, a pair of nappies and that. And I used to have to, even when I was too small to sort of get up on the toilet and that, because you'd fall in. My mum knew that I didn't like nappies and that. I used to just go in the corner, just near the kitchen, in this thing that, like a litter tray. And I'd go there, and I'd do my thing. And, you know, my mum used to say, oh, he's going there, don't look at him and that, because it put me off. You know, like cats don't like being watched when they do it.
When they go in their litter tray in the kitchen.
No, they don't like it. I tested it again.
What, are you just like a little feral kid? Just running around and going to the litter tray, covering it up, and then running up the curtain and eating a sweet at the top of the pelmet?
No, but nobody likes being watched, and that's what I'm saying. If you're sat on a train and you're knocking one out and that, and everyone's looking at you, I don't think it'll catch on.
Well, it has caught on. They're all doing it. They're just sitting there. They're doing, you know, they're reading the paper, doing Sudoku, and they're looking round when they're going. They're thinking, oh, no one knows I'm going. And everyone's thinking that, and everyone's going.
I mean, what are we getting to? You know what I mean? What's going on in the world that this is happening?
I know.
I mean, people have always had to travel for ages. I just don't understand why there isn't a toilet on it. We're going backwards. We're going backwards. Aren't we? Why isn't there a toilet on it?
Well, maybe there is, but maybe people are thinking the queue is going to take forever. If you've got 125 million people
Yeah, but not
back.
everybody wants to go at once. I mean, I know Chinese and all that are like at the forefront of everything that goes on in the world, inventing stuff first, but this isn't one of the best that they've come up with.
What have they invented then, the Chinese? Just
Loads of stuff, haven't they?
Yeah, well, no,
loads
I
of stuff.
was going to ask you. You seem quite educated on the subject. What?
They did them cat mop things that I told you about.
Brilliant.
I
mean,
This was where you put mops on the feet of cats, was that right?
Yeah. And they
Brilliant.
wander about the house, clean up and that, wash the floor for you whilst they're pottering about. They've done like hats with umbrellas on them. They've done. I mean, they're known for like coming up with stuff first.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was gunpowder, but yeah, cats with mops is good as well.
Of course, as ever, lots of questions for Carl as well, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there. Question from Jade. Carl, what would you change if you were in charge of what kids are taught in school? Right, you know, because, I mean, your school experience was a bit iffy. You got very bored, didn't you? You got very disillusioned by school.
Yeah. What I'd do, right, is instead of sort of teaching kids about 2 and 2 and that, which is 4, right?
Well done. Show off.
I think they should be asked more questions that make them think rather than something that has just got an answer,
I totally agree.
right? So,
to teaching them the quest for knowledge, inflaming their
but
imagination.
just freaking them out a bit as well, just going like...
See, I knew that's where it was going. Because as soon as you started talking, Rick, I was thinking you're thinking some of the big existential or philosophical questions. You know, does it mean to be human? What does it mean to interact with other humans? To be a human.
Or teaching them sort of like philosophy on a basic level, that, you know, teaching them the love for learning. So, you know, get them back to a roots level so they want to learn and then they will learn, as opposed to just teaching them facts.
Whereas...
He was thinking, freak him out a bit.
Yeah.
No, just like, you know, like I read the other day, and someone sent it in on email, like how there's a dishwasher that's been found on Mars.
Rubbish.
Whoa, what?
But it's not true.
So tell them that.
But it's not true.
Go home and write about it. How did that happen?
But it didn't happen.
Well, it did happen. It was in a science magazine.
No, it didn't happen. There's not a dishwasher on Mars.
Why not?
Because
What do you mean, why not?
how did it get there?
But we're always sending, like, rubbish out there and that. It's like...
Not dishwashers. What, you think the council take it away and they go, where can we put it? Well, the tip's full. Well, where's the nearest thing we can dump this? Mars, I imagine.
No, but the same way that fella who, I don't know, was it 2 Christmases ago when he was messing about saying I can get stuff to Mars and all that, he did it wrong because he did it on, like, Boxing Day, and I just think nobody's concentrating. No one wants to work on that day. It's kind of like, do you know what I mean? They're going to do stuff sort of half-arsed, aren't they, on Boxing Day? So it didn't really get there, I don't think, but it crash-landed.
What are you talking about? What was he trying to do?
He was sending something up to Mars.
Yeah, that little fella that wanted to get something on Mars, and it got,
globe, you mean?
And it didn't open properly.
Yeah.
It got there, didn't open.
But the thing is, it got there, it didn't open properly. No one's been back to pick it up. And what I'm saying is, we're saying about going to Mars as our next planet. It's a tip. There's loads of stuff that's been flirted up there.
No, it's not.
What are you talking about?
It's just all, like, that probe thing is still there, rotting away.
Yeah. So, ipso facto, there is a dishwasher on Mars. We've settled that. Why would they have a dishwasher on Mars? Would they take the dishwasher up in the space shuttle in case they had dinner parties? What are you talking about?
I just think they would have a little dishwasher in there. There's a lot of them, tight space. You don't want to, but who's going to do that? You know, that means...
Do you know how much fuel it takes to move a kilogram
Yeah.
out of the Earth's atmosphere? So they're going to take up a dishwasher, are they?
Sorry, but what are they cooking up there, Carl?
How many people does it take to fly a rocket?
I...
How many people? Tell me how many people.
Well, it's either one monkey with a banana shoe that feeds it, or probably 2 or 3 humans.
Right, say it's 3 humans.
Yeah.
Now there's 3 humans because they need one to steer it.
One to stop at the petrol station to
but
get
what,
more...
What I'm saying is, if you're going to start having a sink, then whoever's
They
washing
haven't got
up...
a sink.
I know, because they've got a dishwasher.
He's got you there.
But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But all I'm saying is, teach kids things about... Say to them, right, when you go home tonight, there was dinosaurs knocking about ages ago. How would you have lived with them? Get on with it. See you later.
Well, they didn't. I've told you this before. You got a lot of your information from the Flintstones and 1 million years BC with Raquel Welch. There weren't dinosaurs knocking around where there were little fellas knocking around in furry pants.
No, but just sort of saying to them, all right, then, here's a different question.
Go on then.
Would it be better to have dinosaurs knocking about now whilst we're here? Because I put that in my diary the other day, that when you think about it, there's a population problem.
Yeah.
There's too many of us.
Yeah.
We're saving people all the time. No one's allowed to get injured anymore. You've got to, wear a helmet when you're on a bike. There's speed bumps to slow people down. Zebra crossing. Cures for illnesses. No one's dying anymore, right?
Well, I think they are.
Not as many as they should be, because the world's crowded. All I'm saying is
I think there's still people dying. I think there's still people dying.
not that many, though.
Yeah, I think there's still millions of people dying.
Apparently, a handful.
Loads of people are living longer. And that's a problem.
So
what
you
I'm saying
feel that
is,
you should introduce Tyrannosaurus Rex into,
wandering
say,
about.
London, just have them wandering around, just picking people off.
That's what. Just sort of random and that. Because I don't know. I mean, I'm not wishing that anyone I know dies and that. But all I'm saying is, I don't know anyone who's died for ages.
Right.
Whereas if a dinosaur was knocking about, you'd go, Neil's gone missing.
Yeah.
And
And
you go,
Nora's
that's-
had her head bitten off by a...
Whatever. I just think then it is survival of the fittest, which is we've lost all that now. You don't even have to be fit to survive. They just keep sticking a new lung on you. Or, do you know what I mean? They can do too much now to keep people
They
going.
just keep sticking a new lung on you.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slangy match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right? Relationships when you're younger.
How old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head.
Yeah.
And that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco. And they were playing Spin the Bottle or something. Right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on. And I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it. And she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be dealing with this. Right? What's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that. And saying it'll be all right. We'll sort the dress out. I said, I can't be dealing with this. Right. So she's crying her eyes out. I said, it's over. Right.
Oh, it's over. You saying? Right. In the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah. There's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right, and this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, "You're out of order," you know. I'm saying, "What are you on about?"
So there's two 7-year-olds. Yeah. You're out of order. Keep out.
Yeah. Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, "Leave it."
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, "Look, why are you getting involved and all that?"
Yeah.
Two 7-year-olds. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like because he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there.
Yeah.
I accidentally sort of chipped his tooth on a sink.
Oh, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Two 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that happened. What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It was like that sort of material.
You were wearing winkle pickers.
like crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks
a
and
little
head
bit of
locks?
wrestling and shoving about and that, and it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down, and his tooth hit the sink,
Right.
and it chipped and what have you. After that, like I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly, and there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, "Listen, kids, don't get into trouble, because we're out there and we'll get you." Right, so sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh God, there's a copper here talking, and my mate's going to come in a minute, like with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
that's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said, "You'll never take me alive, copper."
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
I think I mentioned to you before, I saw a girl on the tube, she had a bag, and she was quite gothy. She had a bag, and it sort of had like a Barbie's head kind of sort of defaced from there, and loads of badges and tassels and little motifs and odd things, and she decorated the bag. And then had sort of things like, legalise cannabis, and ban the bomb, and stop the war.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to grab her and say, you doing much about the war, or are you working mainly on the bag?
Yeah, you spent most of the year
you're filling in the petitions, are you doing the marches,
collecting
or is it largely
badges.
the bag you're focused on?
Oh dear.
I'll tell you another thing, that a fashion mistake that always offends me whenever I see it, is an Englishman of any age wearing cowboy boots.
I had cowboy boots. I
can't believe it.
When I was 18, right, I went out and got a pair of cowboy boots. The cheapest, they were the only ones I could afford. Awful.
Why?
I mean,
Was that 'cause
they
you
were
were
like they were like clogs that came up to the knee. They were so uncomfortable.
And why did you get them? Who was wearing them at the time that you thought they were cool?
Clint Eastwood.
Right. Okay.
And I had cowboy boots. I put segs in them.
What's that?
Which the little things you nailed into the bottom.
So
right?
they sort of clip clop.
Right, so I'm about 18, right? Those tight jeans, so tight in fact, I thought I had to went to the doctor and I said my balls are aching, and I went off. I said, I've got a pain in my epididymis and all this, which I was doing biology, and he went, your jeans are too tight, they're squashing your balls, right? So I had cowboy boots, right, and pale ones, not even sort of like finished properly, sort of like just the raw sort of leather, cheap wooden bits at the bottom, segs, really tight Levi's, and a red sweatshirt with bullshit on it. That was a present.
Just embroidered on.
I looked pretty hot, baby. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I remember once as well, this was really embarrassing. I had leather jacket, and
How old were you?
Oh, this is embarrassing, 26, I think. And I just had a nice leather jacket, right? But I was bored one day, and so it's about 1986, 87.
Yeah.
87, must have been. And I just painted on the lapel a little acid. And that didn't last.
And were you going to acid house raves at the time?
No, of course not. No. But I remember that one didn't last long. That was in the bottom of the wardrobe immediately.
Yeah.
I knew at the time. I just thought, what is that?
Yeah.
But I forgive anyone sort of anything up to about the age of 25, right?
I don't know.
But I mean, he's getting close there, yeah, but certainly up to the age of 20. But it's the 40-year-olds. It is the 40-year-olds that just still have a little go. Goths are the best. Goths are the best.
Or the cowboy stuff, because there's never been a culture of cowboys in this country.
I know,
You know,
yeah.
so you see the 40-year-old guy with the kind of cowboy jacket with the tassels.
Yeah.
You know, or the bootlegs tie.
Add that, yeah. Went to that, yeah. Did all that,
Because you've been through most phases. This is what's
Been
interesting
through
to me about you, is now you're quite self-aware.
But the most committed one was probably the New Romantic when I first went to university. So, you know, 18, red bullshit t-shirt and tight jeans. Within a couple of months, David Sylvian, just full makeup and that.
Can I ask, because having never really subscribed to one of those fashions, one of those styles, with something like New Romantic, which you've got to be quite committed, do you ease into that slowly, start wearing a bit of nail polish, maybe an earring, and then you work your way in, or you went whole hog?
No, I remember the first time I did it, was the sort of like the first disco in my first year. Just borrowed someone's makeup, put it on, stopped at the chin, hadn't quite got the sort of like a mannequin,
right?
And then I sort of got better at it, I suppose.
Right.
Wanted to look like David Sylvian. That was the idea, and then it sort of.
And so you had to literally go out and sort of start again with your wardrobe, presumably. The cowboy boots went out, the tight jeans. You had to literally go to a shop and buy an outfit, a New Romantic outfit.
No, it was okay because in those days it was a suit. So there was a New Romantic, you wore the suit. I didn't wear all the sort of like pirate gear and pixie boots. I sort of wore the suit and luckily before I went away I bought a suit from my mum's catalogue, which was one of those woolen ones that went bobbly. So not quite David Sylvian.
Yeah.
But you know, at least I was having a go. Yeah. Well, respect.
Have you ever subscribed to any of those fashions, Carl?
Nah, just
going for the gay look now, and he wears Ben Sherman's and he shaves his head.
Remember wanting some Dr. Martens?
Yeah.
And my mum worked at a college in a canteen, and she knew I wanted some, but she got some. There was an old woman who worked in the canteen who said she had some, and it turned out to be like little granny boots. And I ended up having them for a bit.
With a little zip up the front.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, brilliant! Did you wear them?
For a bit.
Yeah. Well, you might as well. Want not. Waste not, want not. Play a record.
Have some ads.
Alright. White Stripes. The hardest button to button. Steve, I've got to find out the answer. It's been driving me mad. How many words are there in the English language? Does anyone know?
Define your terms. By English language, you mean English words.
Yeah, I don't mean how many words are there in a dictionary with all slang, different, how many English words are there that you say were English words, you know?
But there are so many of them which
but not
derive from-
phrases, not slang necessarily. But
what about English words which are derived from French, Celtic, all the rest of it?
Well, like, you know, cliches okay, but they have other languages in them. But how many different English characters are there?
Right.
Because
there was
words,
some
not
news.
characters.
There was some news a few weeks ago about a fella who could, if you said a word to him, right, he'd say, "Yeah, that's on page 36 of the dictionary," right? And they said he remembered 80,000 words, right? So that's in a little dictionary. They said it's 80,000 words. Right, so does that clear that up?
Well, I thought there was about 100,000, right, English words in use, not counting all the other little bits and pieces, phrases, slang. Like, I think I is in there now. Ali G, popular. Now, I don't know whether I should count that or not.
Well, if you're one of our listeners, perhaps if you know somebody who finished school, you could maybe pop next door, get them, ask them, and then email in the answer, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you've got an answer for that. Phil
Honestly,
Collins.
right, okay, I don't know what the PC term is for this, but I honestly think, I think you're quite bright, you know, I think you're quite streetwise and all that things, but I actually think, I've got to be so careful here not to offend people, but I think you might be...
Could you maybe describe it through a sound?
You might be educationally subnormal. Does that worry you? No.
I've got by alright, I'm not going to worry about it now. You know what I mean? I'm 30. You know what I mean? Why start worrying about it now?
But you've got the mind of a 12-year-old.
So what?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I don't worry about stuff. If you don't know about stuff, you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Well, if he's educationally subnormal, I'm afraid also Matt Briggs of South East London is as well, because he got all three right, as did a number of other people.
Well done.
Well done, Matt.
Yeah.
So he's won that stuff.
He has indeed. Player Record, we've also got your film quiz coming up, and Monkey News, we're all looking forward to that.
Monkey News.
Bit of Bowie?
Yeah, one of my favourite Bowie songs of all time, Letter to Hermione from Space Oddity.
If you've got any Christmas shopping, I should show up and do that now.
Letter to Hermione, David Bowie. Well, we've had the most convincing answer, that it's about 290,000 actual words, but possibly 3 million in our vocabulary, using all jargon and scientific stuff and all that.
Sure.
290,000. Still a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot.
We know so little, don't we?
Apparently the average person has about 20,000 words in their
is it?
vocabulary,
Right.
and uses maybe 2,000 a week.
Really?
Yeah. Carl, obviously, slightly bringing that average down.
Carl, what do you think of that?
Single figures.
What's the matter? Get by. Why have you got to use longer words messing about and that? Told you. That word about old. Anti-dipuian or something. Just say old. That's a bit old, isn't it? That's a bit anti-dipuian and that. What's the point?
Yeah.
Get to the point.
Sure.
Busy.
Right, okay, are you in a film this week, Carl?
We're doing that now.
Yeah, go on. Get it over with.
Hang on a minute then.
Get it over with. Let's get this show over with. We can go home. You can go off to Lanzarote and sit on some ash.
Some charcoal.
He's not happy about that. That's annoyed him. The listeners have all ganged up on him.
Yeah.
XFM giving him 2 CDs.
We've had more calls for his resignation this week than ever before.
What do you think of that, Carl?
What do you mean?
There's another reason.
Do you know what I mean, though? Because he's grumpy, he's not just giving it, he goes, well, I can't help it, can I? I don't want it. You're being paid well to do a job. People have tuned in to be entertained, to have good songs. Me and Steve are working
I'm pressing
here.
the buttons. I'm paid to press the buttons. That's what I'm doing. Has every CD started on time?
Then
Yeah.
why would they give you Monday off if you just paid to press the buttons?
Don't get every other Monday off, do I?
So have you stopped doing that now, have you?
Well, yeah.
Why?
Because there's work to do and that. But I'm not moaning about it. Let's get on with it.